Ladies and gentlemen, the cycle of karma renewed officially at 11:36 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the 8th of December, year of our Lord 2015 plus 7. The interdimensional demon elf machine DMT realm entity known as Godwinson, aided by parasites such as the closeted gay man and denial king of Paul, aided by the normie BDSM gimp with freezing takes known as the squire of Gothos, and aided by the Persian snake, the lowest form of life, perspicacity, have claimed another victim. And what we have left is a train wreck in slow motion. The same process of parasitic, parasocial decomposition we saw happen to the vessel has been set in motion. Look.
What is your opinion about having writers that dictate the content that you should talk about and takes to have? And yeah, I'm my own writer. He quickly turned on Perp and Squire. Now thanks to them, this song is fire. Heidi, Heidi, Heidi. We just having fun over here. Oh God. Yeah. I love Godwinson. I love his team.
I love Godwinson. I love his team.
Well, I mean...
For the guys like me who just want to put on suits and do cute things in suit.
Well, I mean...
Now the majority are the unashamed perverts with no regard for the people around them. You want people to respect your pronouns.
Yeah, all I did was make two funny songs, and that made them go, he's a pedophile now, he's a groomer, he's a... It's like...
This is a speed record. It took the previous model almost a year to show full signs of parasitism. Hey Salieri, this is a warning to you, but sadly, I know it will be ignored and discarded, possibly mocked. It's too late for you and it's just a matter of time before you end like the previous vessel. Indeed. To be honest, I don't have any prescriptive solution. Who am I, you might ask? I am nobody, really. You can call me by my code name Lady Rike, the best deep throat in Jamaica.
Just call me Deep Throat.
I have documented the shenanigans of this interdimensional creature for the past 2 years. In this video, I will tell you the esoteric truth behind Godwinson and thus your future for the next 12 to 18 months. I know in this moment you might want to dust off your fedora and give snarky skeptic remarks. No Dawkins can help you where we are going to, Asa. Asa, you just confirmed your fate.
I hear Ashton crying. Oh no, I'm talking about the Ashton in here. Yeah, I hate you, Ashton. I hate you because you have the same name as my son. I know for a fact that I did not send my son from the future to become you. I know future me is not that stupid.
Is not your son who will become this disgusting mass of grifting, this soulless dispenser of normie-friendly feces. You will. These are the Godwinson files. The full truth. Hey logs, brothers, you are ready for the darkest pill. Buckle up. The ear question explained. You will notice when you will meet Godwinson in real life, because you will, that there is something strange with Godwinson. If the sideways blinking, the hissing and the shape-shifting doesn't bother you, this will. This is the ear question. This ear is just his skin graft in order to change vessel. He needs to do this periodically. That's why he will eventually have to disappear and cut all trace of communications with you. The person known as Adam Edge, Godwinson, is in reality an interdimensional DMT realm elf machine entity. Our first contacts with these entities started during the first half of the 20th century. These entities mostly parlayed with mystics, poets, and members of secret societies in the nationalist and romantic movements of Britain and Germany. Their method was through automatic writing. Claiming to be being from another planets, these entities logged figures such as Aleister Crowley and Maria Orsic of the Real Movement. How this works: that residual concentrations of dimethyltryptamine or DMT are present in the human brain, specifically in the pineal gland and the lungs. Automatic writing gave the mystics enough ego-death dissociative trance to access these amounts of DMT and receive messages from these entities, the technological equivalent of one-way shortwave radio. Look at this figure. What does it look like? Exactly, it looks identical to Adam Edge. This is Godwinson, the entity in communication with Aleister Crowley and possibly Adolf Hitler. Hitler claimed there was an entity that spoke to him after he dodged a frag mine back in World War I. One of the reasons why you might have been chosen above War Corps 66SX is because you are Argentinian, the place where the Nazis escaped to after the war. That, and also because War Corps's brain is deep fried, Kentucky Fried Chicken style, with alcohol. Maria Orsic of Briel and Hans-Georg Schmidt von Altenstadt escaped, highly likely to Argentina after the war. Because the victors set the rules and the factions involved with these entities lost, a process of absorbing the best talents of the failed Reich started. Operation Paperclip took the best talents of German ballistics and tech to the Soviet Union and America. What we ignore is that these Nazi scientists are no your Richard Dawkins, autistic self-serious deniers of esotericism, but more like Newton. I mean batshit insane. These people believed in secret the same practices as real, contacting alien creatures of the DMT realm. A little known fact in the West is that Stalin eliminated the faction involved in contact with these entities during the Stalin purges. Lenin's mummy is proof that the Soviet elite was deep into Egyptian mysticism and other beliefs antagonistic to the party line. Paperclip started the space program. It is believed that during this period the space program started alternative methods of traveling in order to get an advantage over the Soviet. Basically, the Americans got A-logged by the Nazis into doing LSD. The space program involved the elites of the military-industrial complex. The Office of Strategic Services, the ancestor of the current CIA and the National Advisory Committee for Aeronautics, the precursor of NASA among them. The knowledge of hallucinogenic drugs to speak with entities of superior dimensions as postulated by the Kaluba-Klein theorem, which explains the shape-shifting nature of the DMT experience entities, allowed an interagency gay-opping that lasted several decades. One of these glow-in-the-dark perspicacities was Sidney Gottlieb, one of the architects of JMK Ultra, through whose facade the Human Ecology Foundation expanded on mind control experiments and DMT realm exploration. One aspect of his research, mind control, is public because it was subpoenaed by Congress. The other aspect, that of the DMT realm, were kept secret as a matter of national security. Part of the human control experiment on normies was to create the hippie movement. His main asset was a man known as Timothy Leary. Timothy Leary is a CIA asset needed to find mind-controlled killers. Kayfabe aside, this actually happened, in order to justify government expenses on Schedule I drugs. So when apprehended for drug trafficking in 1965, he introduced psychedelics to a felon named Charles Manson, who in a binge of LSD and DMT organized, planned and executed the Tate murders. This is JMK Ultra in action, named after John Michael Kelly, notorious PPP A-log. Now beautiful trans woman. They changed JMK Ultra's prescription from Vanilla MK Ultra to Matriarch Project. Another example of gay-opping mentally unstable normies for nefarious purposes was Louis Jolyon West, main colleague of Sidney Gottlieb in the Human Ecology Foundation. He was the psychiatrist of a man Jack Kirby, who killed Harvey Lee Oswald, who allegedly shot Kennedy. It is known that Jolyon West also used to medicate Oswald. I am a patsy indeed. Jolyon West was a psychiatrist in the same clinic Manson received weekly treatment. By that time, in 1968, the CIA was on the third year of running Operation Chaos. Leary met and converted into an asset a man called Terence McKenna. He will do the transition from psychedelics and LSD into DMT proper. At the same time when JMK Ultra funding started to dwindle in order to control the international drug cartel market through the upcoming war on terror. McKenna helped to popularize in yuppie intellectual circles the DMT experience. To DMT elves, that looks like jesters, like alogs. This is the latest known public record of an ex-CIA asset talking directly about these entities. Terrence McKenna was a beloved guest in the Art Bell Coast to Coast AM radio show. He will elaborate with hours-long lectures about the elf machine beings of the DMT realm. The Art Bell show a severe satellite-level interruption the night of September 11, 1997, the night of this call.
Hello, Art?
Yes.
Hi. I don't have a whole lot of time.
Well, look, let's begin by finding out whether you're using this line properly or not.
Area 51.
Yeah, that's right. Were you an employee or are you now?
A former employee.
Former employee.
I was let go on a medical discharge about a week ago, and I've kind of been running across the country. Oh man, I don't know where to start. They're gonna they'll triangulate on this position really soon.
So you can't spend a lot of time on the phone. So give us something quick.
Okay. Okay. What we're thinking of as aliens are they're extra-dimensional beings that an earlier precursor of the space program made contact with. They are not what they claim to be. They have infiltrated a lot of aspects of the military establishment, particularly the Area 51. The disasters that are coming, the military. I'm sorry, the government knows about them, and there's a lot of safe areas in this world that they could begin moving the population to now, Art.
But they're not doing anything.
They are not. They want those major population centers wiped out so that the few that are left will be more easily controllable.
Discharged.
I started getting...
This call is the most complete confession we have of what these entities are and what are their plans. Later they found a Jewish Salieri cosplayer to claim it was the Area 51 caller, gay opt again indeed. McKenna died from severely aggressive forms of brain cancer. Bell died from pulmonary disease, the two organs highly related to human DMT production. These highly creative men were used and subsequently farmed for human DMT production. These entities are not product of our collective imagination. These are what theology called demons, in the strict sense. The oldest use of the term is Greek and talked about an entity that gave you ideas. You see? Just like the parasite writers befriending you now. These are people with severe autism and exposure to DMT realm entities. Tread carefully. Currently the government is sending people with astronaut-level training into week-long sessions of DMT exposure in order to map this realm and make contact with these entities. This was a short introduction of a 12-video series I was supposed to make, but I am running out of time. My yogurt is full of nanobots and the glowing-in-the-dark perspicacities are gang-a-logging me. The next 12 months. What is your future, Asa? I suggest you to watch PPP's entire catalog and look for the interpersonal details, but here is a quick rundown. What I think is now, you are being exalted as the Antediluvian King. You are being propped up. Between the 14th and 15th of December of this year your Vosh saga will commence. Vosh will become the new Ethan Ralph, now an easy target that he has been discarded by their fellow leftist grifters, and you and Adam will gain enormous clout from this happening. The next months after that, your creative relationship will flourish. I will be tarnished as an schizophrenic freak for going against you. As if. Slowly but surely, diva levels of ego will start to grow. Egos will start to develop. You will be snaked. You will be put in your place and told that before him you was just an obese old man with a dying channel.
Bow to the fucking king, because you were always a pretender. You ain't worth salt, buddy. I always gave you the lift. I was the original writer, and let's be honest, I was the best fucking one. You owe it all to me. And as I said to you back then, I made you, and I can break you.
Your writers will side with the reptilian. These first petty, then explicit slights will offend you to the point you will take no more. Joint streaming will become awkward then cease. A fallout will happen and it will be called kayfabe, play around tomfoolery. Adam will disappear again. Your new audience, which is in reality his, will ask you constantly about the reptilian. You will have no idea. You will become desperate for money, even more than now working a part-time job. Your monetization will become more and more to an audience that doesn't tolerate it. Your dependency to monetize it will be tight. You will sell your soul, influenced by these writers after multi-hour sob stories. They will help you. You will make money, you will win. You will become reap for the harvest. Now with an oversized ego, a cabal of parasitical kappas and fully grifting either a truth teller, a nalog, or anyone will start trolling you into the position Aston Porks is now. There are some variations of this line of events but the outcome is the same Asa. A final message to A Salieri, do you have a brain of your own left? This video was a bullet waiting in the shelf for 2 years. It needed no writers or fucking creative team of parasites. There will be a time in which the only man left in the room with a voice of his own will be the one using a text-to-speech device. Mariana Trench levels of dark age indeed. The reality is that Godwinson is a hypocrite and doesn't have a brain of his own. What is more anti-Kino Doma 2007 than to have a cabal of retards being your creative team? To have a creative team at all. This is Sargon Doma 2022 and it's just a matter of time before Perspicacity's text-to-speech crumbles down and disappears for another 14 months just to gaslight his audience again. Sad. Ditch the parasites. Thread carefully with the reptile. You might have a chance. To the A-logs, the neat proletariat. Brothers, we have another chance to cross the river and pass the underworld. But a vessel needs to be sacrificed. It's up to you to believe, to go into the rabbit hole. I know the truth sounds insane as fuck, but what did you expect? You are watching an esotericism video. Shit, they caught me. If you are listening to this I am highly likely dead. The secret combinations nox jase drevori wiwusakshu shaku ajage shbab bukshu okufib.